In the previous discussion, we had taken up a bar element by using the step-by-step procedures involved in finite element analysis. We have taken up an example numerical solved problem on bar, and we have solved the bar problem completely by using finite element analysis. Similar to that approach, let us now take up a spring element. Since spring element undergoes axial deformation, let us divide a spring element into nodes. Spring element will have two nodes with the spring constant K, and the axial force will be applied along the axis of the element as F1 and F2, and L is the length of the spring. So based on the visualization of the spring element, let K be the spring constant and F1, F2 are the forces acting at the nodes, with the displacement U1 and U2 acting at node 1 and node 2. So this is a description of the stiffness of the spring K, F1, F2 of the forces, and U1, U2 are the displacement acting at node 1 and 2, and L be the length of the spring element. Based on the direction of the forces by sign convention of the nodal forces and applying the equilibrium condition, F1 is equal to minus T1, F2 is equal to T2, where T is the tensile forces. We know that the tensile force T is equal to delta into U. So whenever the spring element is applied with the tensile forces, it tends to elongate, and based on that relationship, we got this T is equal to delta into U. By using the spring constant as well as the change in the deformation in the spring when the load is applied, F1 is equal to minus K into delta U, and F2 is equal to minus K into delta U. By using the values of the displacement U1 and U2, F1 can be written as K into U1 minus U2, F2 can be written as K into U2 minus U1. And this can be written in the matrix form as F1 and F2 is equal to K minus K minus K into U1 and U2. By taking the value of the spring constant K, the finite element equation for the spring element is given as F1 and F2 or the force vector is equal to K into 1 minus 1 minus 1 1, which is the stiffness matrix, and the corresponding nodal displacement vector is given as U1 and U2. Now with the knowledge of the finite element equation for the spring element, now let us take a solved problem of a spring element. By using steps involved in finite element analysis, we can solve a finite element analysis of the spring element. So as explained earlier, the steps involved in finite element analysis of the spring element are: the first and the important step is discretization of the spring into nodes and the elements if the spring has multiple spring elements. And step 2 is identifying the degrees of the freedom. Since the spring element has axial deformation, it will have axial displacements. Step 3 involves calculating the stiffness matrix of the spring element. Step 4 involves assembling the global stiffness matrix. Step 5 is applying the boundary condition. The steps involved in solving spring element by using finite element analysis starts with the first step being the discretization of the given spring element into nodes and elements if the spring has multiple spring elements. Step 2 is identifying the degrees of freedom, followed by step 3 calculating the stiffness matrix. Step 4 is the assemblage of global stiffness matrix. Step 5 is the applying boundary condition. Step 6 is the calculation of the unknown displacement. Final step is the calculation of the reaction forces of the spring. So using this step-by-step procedure, let us take a solved problem in spring element. And by using FEA equations, let us now look at the solved example of a spring element. A spring assemblage with the arbitrary numbered nodes are shown in the figure. The node 1 and node 2 are fixed and a force of 500 kN is applied at node and in x direction. Calculate the following: global stiffness, nodal displacements, reaction at each nodes. So this is the given spring where node 1 and node 2 are fixed, and the spring element has three spring constants: K1 has 100 kN per meter, K2 has 200 kN per meter, K3 has 300 kN per meter. So it is asked to calculate global stiffness, nodal displacement and reactions at the ends. Based on the given values for the spring element, in the finite element analysis of the spring element, the first step is the discretization of the spring element. The spring element has three springs, so it is discretized into three elements. Second step is identifying the degrees of freedom. Since the spring element undergoes axial deformation, the deformation at the node 1, 2, 3 and 4 will be taken as U1, U2, U3, U4. And we already know that the finite element equation for the spring element is F1 and F2 is equal to K into 1 minus 1 minus 1 1, and the corresponding nodal displacement vector are U1 and U2. After knowing the finite element equation, let us now calculate the values of the stiffness matrix for spring element 1. Since spring element has three spring constant K1, K2, K3, we need to calculate a stiffness matrix for the element 1, 2 and 3 by using the values of the spring constant K1, K2, K3. By substituting the value of the spring constant K1 with the nodal displacement U1 and U3 and its corresponding nodal force F1 and F3, the final element equation after substituting the value of the spring constant will look similar to this equation. Similarly, for the spring element 2, by substituting the value of the spring constant K2 and the corresponding nodal displacements are U3 and U4 and the nodal force vectors are F3 and F4. Finally, for the element 3, by substituting the value of the spring constant K3 and the corresponding nodal displacement vector U4 and U2 and load or force vector F4 and F2. After calculating the stiffness matrix for element 1, spring element 1, spring element 2, spring element 3. Now the next step is assemblage of global stiffness matrix for the entire spring structure. Since the spring structure has 4 nodes, node 1, 2, 3, 4, and its arrangement along rows and columns has been taken with the nodal displacement vector as U1, U2, U3, U4 and a corresponding force vector as F1, F2, F3 and F4. So based on the matrix addition and the corresponding nodes 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4 in row wise and the column wise is arranged. After assembling the global stiffness matrix for the entire spring element, the next step is applying the boundary condition. Since node 1 and node 2 are fixed, the nodal displacement U1 and U2 will be equal to 0. And since no force is acting at F1, F2 and F3, F1, F2, F3 will be equal to 0. The boundary condition at F1, F2, F3 will be 0 and there is a force 500 kN which is acting at node 4. So F4 has to be substituted with the value of 500 kN. By applying the boundary condition U1, U2 is equal to 0 at nodal displacement and nodal force vector F1, F2, F3 is equal to 0, the size of the matrix will be reduced by removing rows and column which has 0 boundary conditions. By removing the rows and the column which has 0 boundary condition, the unknown displacement U3 and U4 can be calculated. So based on the boundary condition and removing the rows and the column which has 0 boundary condition, the unknown displacement is calculated as U3 is equal to 0.9091 meter, U4 is equal to 1.364 meter. With the values of the unknown displacement and U3 and U4, we can calculate the reaction forces of the spring element. So the reaction forces for the spring element is calculated as R1, R2, R3, R4 since we have 4 nodes is equal to stiffness matrix into nodal displacement vector minus force vector at node 1, 2, 3 and 4. By substituting the value of U1, U2, U3, U4 we can get the values of the reaction R1, R2, R3, R4 as R1 as minus 90.91, R2 as 409.20, R3 and R4 as 0. So reaction forces in terms of Newton.